Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you are new. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you my tips, things you should do or think about doing before the Switch 2 edition comes out of New Horizons and the big one, the 3.0 update. There's nothing worse than turning on your Animal Crossing game in January when this comes out and not being able to enjoy content you want to enjoy because you didn't prepare or you don't have the items you need to prepare for that update. So I wanted to make this little guide, tell you things you should be doing right now in your game, things you could be doing right now in your game, or things you might want to think about buying. We'll get into that in a second. First thing, I want to talk about this right here, the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. I've been getting a lot of comments, a lot of questions. Pat, should I buy a Nintendo Switch 2 for this exclusively? And my answer is yes. I do think that the Nintendo Switch 2 at this point in time is worth it. And if you only play Animal Crossing, I think your experience will be greatly enhanced if you have a Switch 2. We'll go over the Switch 2 stuff that you might be missing out on if you don't have a Switch 2. Things that are not mentioned in here, and as someone who has played this game for thousands of hours, the two big things for me is the load times are greatly decreased. So just to put it into perspective, just loading up the game, and I actually did a comparison of this, it takes about half of the time on the Switch 2 compared to the Nintendo Switch 1. And you're gonna see little differences too, like going in and out of buildings, going in and out of rooms in your house. The load times decrease so much with the Switch 2 because of the extra power. That alone might be worth it for some people. The other thing is the game runs better on the Switch 2. Even without the Switch 2 edition, the game runs better. If you've ever been on a very crowded island, especially a very crowded Dream Island, the game is constantly loading in the items as you're walking around the island, and the game runs at a terrible frame rate, and the game just chugs. Like, your character just feels like they're running underwater. The game is running so slow. So those two things especially, I think, are worth the upgrade alone. But let's go over some things that you would miss out in this update, because it starts off with this. So the first thing is enhanced resolution for improved graphics. Honestly, I don't think this is a huge deal, and they do a comparison here, and I will say this is pretty noticeable. I'm kind of cutting it off a little bit. This is pretty noticeable. However, I will say that if you don't have a 4K TV or a 4K monitor or some kind of 4K display to view this game on, you're not going to get that feature anyway. But the game is going to run better. It's going to look better. As you can see, this is a zoomed in image, but I think this is pretty noticeable. I mean, this is on the right, it's very jaggedy compared to that, and that's very, very zoomed in. So just remember, if you don't have a 4K display, you're not going to be able to take advantage of that anyway. The next thing is the mouse controls. I think this could be big for some people. Again, I'll try it out. I don't think this is necessarily a game changer in any way, but if you are someone, if you are someone that makes patterns, I could see this being really beneficial. Our little pixel artists out there, being able to use the Joy-Con as a mouse, it's really helpful. And then if you are a fan of writing on the bulletin board or the community board, whatever you want to call it, this is pretty helpful too in mouse control. So if you don't have a Switch 2, you can't take advantage of any of this stuff. The mouse control, the improved graphics, none of that. The next thing here is the megaphone, and this is an exclusive Switch 2 feature. It's kind of up in the air what will happen if you have a Switch 1. Will you still be able to buy this and just use it as a decoration and it won't work or anything? But yeah, this is directly tied into the microphone on the Switch 2. So you're not going to be able to use this feature at all if you have a Switch 1. So, I mean, you basically just talk into it and then you can find out where your villagers are on your map. It's not like a crazy thing, but it's there. The next thing is the expanded online features. I know I know I'm looking at this like a PowerPoint, but you know, I don't want the volume to overpower me here. So this one is interesting because on Nintendo Switch, you can have up to 8 players on your island. But on the Switch 2, you can have up to 12 players on your island. And it's kind of unknown whether or not Switch 1 players will be able to visit a Switch 2 player that is hosting 12 players. So this content might be locked out completely. Then again, who knows 12 people? But if you want to like participate in little events and stuff and go to your friends' islands, you might be locked out of this content if you don't have a Switch 2. So I don't know. That could be something. Game chat also you'll be locked out of. And then this is the last thing with the Switch 2 camera. If you didn't know, you don't have to use the Switch 2 official camera. You can use any sort of camera that hooks up via USB. So you can use like a webcam, what I'm using right now. You can just hook that up to your Switch. This feature is really cute, but yeah, these are all features that you will be locked out of. So you might want to get a Switch 2 if you want to take advantage of these features. Switch 2 versions, you can get them anywhere, obviously, but I can literally get one right now on Amazon and it will be shipped to me today. So that's pretty crazy. It is almost 12 o'clock and I can have it in a couple hours. I don't know if this will be the case in January. The holidays are coming. A lot of kids are going to be asking for Switch 2. A lot of people are going to be gifting Switch 2 systems. So if you are thinking of getting a Switch 2, I would personally get it sooner rather than later. They have the Switch 2 just system. They have the Mario Kart bundle, which I recommend getting that. And then they also have the ZA bundle, which isn't even out yet. I don't think. Is it out? Did it get sold out? I don't know. But either way, you might want to take advantage of like how easy this is to get now rather than battling with parents and people trying to get it for the holidays. So just keep that in mind. You might want to get one sooner than later. It's not required to play the 3.0 stuff, but you might want to think about getting it. All right, the first thing you'll want to do in your game has to do with the beaches. Now, a big part of the 3.0 update has to do with your dock, and you better start cleaning it up because you're going to need to access it. So clean your freaking beaches, especially the beach that is near Captain's Dock. Now, this is going to get a huge makeover, and it's not actually known if we can still decorate on the dock, like the entire dock when it does extend. But I would definitely recommend like cleaning or clearing out the beach or making the beach accessible, especially the one that the dock is on. I just thought of this, that people that their docks are on the opposite side, the hotel is going to look a little bit different. So that's going to be cool. In addition, though, you might want to put as much stuff as you can on the beach, because if you saw Resetti has a new function where he can clean things off of your island completely or clean things of just your beach. So I don't know, if you're remodeling or making room on your beach, it might be worth it to like put a bunch of flowers and stuff. The extra flowers you don't want, the extra bushes you don't want, put them on your beach because Resetti can just clean them up. But that's my first tip. Show a little bit of love to your beaches. I know they often get forgotten, but that might be a tip to save you a little bit of trouble when the update comes. All right, the second thing you should be doing or thinking about has to do with Able Sisters. And once again, we are talking about the hotel that is coming in the 3.0 update. Hello, Mabel. How are we doing? We always talk to Mabel, right? And we especially talk to Sable, right? Sable has a new pattern for me. Thank you so much. But this has to do with the clothes in the shop. We don't know how this is going to work yet. You might want to start buying as many clothes as you can, because in the hotel, a similar like graphic will pop up like this, where you can set your outfits in your hotel. We don't know yet if that's going to pull from the clothes that you currently own. So if you're going inside of Able's, you might want to pick up some of these outfits. Like if you want to have your characters dressing up in the #1 sports tank, you might want to buy it if you don't have it yet. So that's my tip there, is to catalog as much clothing as you can, because you might need it for the hotel little mannequins that people pull from. Imagine all your characters walking around in little mage dresses or little mage hats. I think that'd be cute. So stock up on your clothes, especially me who never buys clothes except this like nice Halloween fit. Rate my Halloween fit. I think it's pretty good. To go along with that, you should also be buying as many items as you can, because on the brand new Slumber Islands, again, you are going to only be able to use items that are pulled from your catalog. So if I've never bought this green baseball mitt before, I can't use it on the new Slumber Island. So honestly, I would go crazy and buy every item variant, customize it over at Cyrus and have him do all of the color variants so you own all of them. Go to Treasure Islands, get every color variant of every item, because if you don't have all the items, you're kind of limiting yourself on the Slumber Islands, and I think that's going to be a big draw for the 3.0 update. So my biggest piece of advice is to buy literally every item you see, or get it at least customized in every single color. I feel like I just committed a crime. You sold that for so cheap. Buy every item, everyone. All right, my next tip is to get as many resources as you can, as many materials as you can. Go crazy on your island. And there's a second part of this too. So get as much wood as you can, get as much iron as you can, as many shells as you can, as many sticks as you can. And here's the thing, put them in your storage, okay? And you're gonna be like, what the heck are you talking about? Put all of your materials in your storage, okay? So yeah, all these materials here, even apples, everything that you can build with, put in your storage. Now, this was something that Nintendo did not say in the trailer, but if you read the press release and the listing for the game, you can actually craft things and bulk craft things using materials from in your storage. That is so clutch, okay? That honestly is better than crafting, like, that's better than bulk crafting to me. So when the 3.0 comes out, you'll be able to go up to this crafting table. And as you can see right here, you can go over to craftable. So you don't have any craftable recipes, obviously, because I have no materials on me. So like this ladder, for an example, I can't make because I don't have wood, hardwood, or softwood in my pocket. Okay? But when 3.0 comes out, look at all the materials I have in my pocket. I have wood, I have softwood, I have stone, clay, gold. I have so many building materials, and when 3.0 comes out, I don't have to waste my inventory to craft things and to bulk craft things. So right now, you should be getting as many materials and everything like that that you can, because when 3.0 comes out, you're going to be a building machine, and you're going to need to build stuff for the hotel to get hotel tickets. Thank me later. All right, the next thing you might want to get sooner rather than later, this even more so than the Switch 2, Amiibo. I don't really collect Amiibo anymore. I think they're very overpriced. This one's actually on sale though, but they're normally like $30. So they showed a couple of collaborations with Zelda, Splatoon, and they are tied to Amiibo. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get the Tulin Amiibo if you want to get Tulin the Villager. Also, there's Minoru, which I believe Minoru has her own Amiibo too. It's like the Minoru Construct Amiibo. So these are things that you might want to get. I think these are going to be in high demand. Now, with that being said, Nintendo might make more of them and release more of them. But right now, again, I can get this today if I order it right now. Same thing with this. And this one hurts a little bit more, but I will give you alternatives. This is the deep cut Amiibo, Splatoon Amiibos. And like I said, they also announced a Splatoon Amiibo collaboration. So these are the Amiibos from Splatoon 3. And there are new villagers. There's plenty of new like Splatoon furniture and things like that. Zelda furniture. It's not known at this time if you're going to need a Tulin Amiibo for the Tulin character, but like, I mean, we can kind of assume that. I wanted to pull up something. Actually, I saw, and I'll put it on the screen right now for you. So this was taken from the Japanese website, and I don't know if this is just like bad translation, because this is like Google translated, but it says, when you touch an amiibo from the Legend of Zelda series, new furniture and clothing inspired by the series will appear. So is it any Zelda amiibo? Is it like the Tulin amiibo for the Tulin character? The Majora's Mask amiibo for the Majora? Like, we don't know if it's one-to-one or if it's just a random item per Zelda amiibo. So like, I don't know. Either way, you're probably going to want the Splatoon amiibo and the Zelda amiibo. Same thing with Splatoon. When you touch an amiibo from the Splatoon series, furniture and clothing inspired by the series will appear. So yeah, it's kind of unknown right now. But just to be sure, I wouldn't fight people on this. I would just think about getting these. Now, these are very expensive, and honestly, I wouldn't even pay $70 for these three. What you can alternatively do, Nintendo, look away. There are things on Amazon and on Etsy that are these NFC mini cards, okay? So this is $30, and this includes all of the Splatoon amiibo ever made, including the new deep cut ones, I believe. Yes, yep, you can see deep cut on there. So this is a good alternative, and they're really convenient. You don't have to have a bunch of figures everywhere, and this kind of ensures that you have every Splatoon amiibo. So if you need a certain item and you don't have that amiibo, like, this is a good way to kind of cover your basis on this. In addition, this one is unavailable right now on Amazon. But again, I have amiibo cards. I have the Zelda amiibo cards especially. And this is a great way to get all of the Zelda amiibo without buying all of the amiibo. You know what I'm saying? So just be aware, you're going to need amiibos, man. You're going to need amiibos because this content, unfortunately, is locked behind that. Now, you might be able to get this stuff on Treasure Islands, but if you don't have the access to those, this is the way to officially do it. Buying these amiibos, the deep cut, the Tulin, and the Minoru Construct amiibo, or you can get the amiibo cards. So just keep that in mind. Some of this content is locked behind another paywall. All right, here's a little bonus tip for you, and you're going to thank me later if this comes true. The reason why I wanted to put it at the end is because it's not confirmed that we're getting any of these Nook Stop items. So my last tip is to get as many Nook Miles as you possibly can, okay? Get as many Nook Miles as you possibly can. Just to put things into perspective, the 2.0 update, you needed like 50-something thousand to get all of the items. So the reason why I say that is because all of the special items, all of the hairstyles, and, you know, the body paints, and the emotes, and the pathing, and stuff like that, you need Nook Miles to get. I am almost positive that in 3.0, there will be new Nook Stop items. This is something that's not confirmed, but has pretty much been in every single update that we've gotten. And you're going to want to get those items right away. You're going to want to get the things right away because this stuff right here, like, are game changers. This isn't cosmetic. Like, be a chef, you unlock food recipes. I don't know why I don't have that yet, although this island is newer. But you're going to want as many Nook Miles as you possibly can get. I would say if you're looking for a number to shoot for, I would go somewhere around 50,000. I think 50,000 is pretty good. That should cover you for whatever items they throw at us. And again, this is just speculation because do your little dance, King. Do it. The Lego items will cost bells. The Splatoon items will cost bells once you swipe in the amiibos. The other items at the hotel will cost hotel tickets. So it's not known if there will be Nook Mile items, but I'm almost betting that there will be. So collect your Nook Miles, collect your ×5. Yeah, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, DIY projects. Honestly, this is my favorite thing to do, just like chill and do DIY stuff. You're going to want some. So I only have 27,000. I got to go to work because I think there's going to be some bonus stuff. All right, so there you go. Those are all my tips and things you should be doing, things you should be considering right now before 3.0. Get those purchases in so you don't have to, scramble at the last second and compete with people that are holiday gift shopping. So definitely think about that. Think about, reworking your island a little bit. And most importantly, just have fun. I mean, the 3.0 update might be the last update ever. They've said that before, but it might be the last update ever. And just take your time with it. But I hope some of these tips helped you out. If you learned anything, if this video helped you at all, definitely think about subscribing. And I will see you with even more Animal Crossing content. Bye, everyone.